Peace, peace, people. Welcome to We Are Our Ancestors, Yemima's World, the Jelly Moose's Cafe. I am your hostess, Yemima, and it's always good to be black in the land of the living once again. Wow, 3 days in a row. What am I going to do? No, there was not another fire that I know of that we're going to talk about, but we know that the plantation fire, the forced labor camp fire, it still has its 15 minutes of fame. So people are still, of course, talking about it. So now that it has happened and we have rejoiced and some people have cried, now comes the conspiracy theories as to why the fire was set, who may have set it. And I've only seen a few. And you can think whatever you like. I'm not here to say what you're saying is wrong, but I'm just here to share some information with some people who may not see these things. So the first conspiracy theory that I saw was that the doll Annabelle was moved from wherever it was before to Louisiana. And so there are some people saying that Annabelle set the fire on the plantation and saying that this little white doll, Annabelle, set the blaze to this plantation is like saying aliens built the pyramids. We just don't want to give Black people credit for anything in life or in death. We don't want to believe that the ancestors had a hand in starting this blaze to this plantation. We just want to believe that this little white doll, Annabelle, uh, spirit, set blaze to this plantation. And why would she? Why would she? What reason would the spirit of Annabelle have to set fire to this plantation? For what? Was the material that was made that she was made out of, did it come from that plantation? What would be the reasoning behind the spirit of Annabelle to set fire to the plantation? Now, I'm not, I mean, I've seen like one movie, so does the doll, the spirit, have ties to this plantation? Maybe it does. I don't know. But that was one of the conspiracy theories that Annabelle had set fire to this plantation. Another conspiracy theory was that the uh, the government or the people who own the plantation set fire to it themselves. Now that could be a reason. Allegedly, that could be that they did, because the reason could be to collect insurance money. I don't know, but that could be a reason, or that could be could have been true. But that's not the reason why the person said that the government or the white people set fire to their plantation themselves. They said that because if the plantation burned, then that means they don't have to pay Black people reparations, because the plantation is what ties us to slavery. Because they don't have any other proof that our ancestors were enslaved other than these plantations. So, plantation go poof poof, reparations go bye bye. And that was one of the craziest ones that I saw, was that because the plantation, there's only been one. I don't know of any other plantations that have burned. So I don't know how this is going to, delay or deny reparations because the plantation burned down. Again, this is the only one. And how does that delay or deny reparations to American born Africans who have ties? You do know that there's such thing as ancestry.com that you can go on and look up people and find out where your ancestors were enslaved. Now, also, if you have done your homework and researched this thoroughly, plantations, the records that they kept of people didn't include names. Some of them just said male or female with their age and their worth. So it's going to be kind of hard for you to trace back anyway, even if the plantation had names. hadn't gone up in smokes if they didn't have a meticulous record of the people. And then how would you even get access to the record? You know, them forefathers, the white forefathers got that stuff locked up like Fort Knox. So how would you even get access to it? So that one was a little nutty, uh, that the fire would delay or deny reparations. So those are the only two conspiracy theories that I have seen so far. The Annabelle doll, and we're not getting reparations now because the plantation went poof poof. Now, I did see a video today of the woman. If you've seen any of the videos when the fire started, you see a woman, and I believe she had on a red jumper, and she was pouring libations. So she's a doctor in Louisiana, and she has a video on YouTube where she talks about her cousin had called her and told her, "Hey, the plantation's on fire," and she said the ancestors instructed her to go home and to put on something ancestral and something African, and to bring libations to pour the libations. And so that's what she did. So I thought that was really nice for her to be obedient to the spirit of the ancestors. Now, again, we still have some Black people that are crying tears over the fact that the plantation burned down. Now, these are the reasons that they're given, and again, they make absolutely no sense. But they're talking about knowledge and wisdom is lost because of the fire. Uh, they're talking about stories are lost because of the fire. Now, this was the oldest plantation in the country that was still standing. And it's 2025. So exactly when were we going to expect them to start to tell stories about the wisdom and knowledge that the enslaved Africans had when they were in bondage on that plantation? When can we expect that? Because the wisdom and knowledge of our ancestors was lost when they decided to hide, cover up, and whitewash all of those stories. And trust and believe, if you are a venerator of the ancestors, if you have that connection spiritually to the ancestors, whatever information they want you to have, they will get it to you. They don't need a plantation. They don't need a brick and mortar where they were tortured souls to get information to you. If they want you to have the knowledge, they'll get it to you. They don't need the plantation to do so. And if you're not tied to that plantation bloodline or spiritually, it's not coming to you anyway. So there are some plantations where you are your bloodline lies. I don't understand why people always want to go outside of their bloodline for wisdom and knowledge. Why do we do that? Why do we go to somebody else's ancestors to teach us? Whatever recipes, whatever resistance, whatever revolution, whatever information that was on that plantation in Louisiana, I promise you, the descendants of those ancestors will still get it without that plantation. But for those of us who are not Louisiana born or not Louisiana natives, I'm Virginia born in North Carolina. I'm not going to go to Louisiana's plantation to get the wisdom and knowledge from my ancestors. I'm going to go to these Virginia plantations where I know they were enslaved. I know that my ancestors on my father's side were enslaved at the Peter Davis plantation in Warren County, North Carolina. Why would I want to get information from somebody in New Orleans? Not that I can't, but why would I skip over Virginia? And just so you know, most of the plantations operated the same. So the wisdom that was on that plantation, you can go to the Whitney plantation and you'll see the same thing. The same things that happened to those enslaved Africans on Nottoway plantation happened to the ones on Whitney plantation, happened to the ones on Peter Davis plantation, happened to the ones on Patrick Henry plantation, happened to the ones on George Washington plantation. So any plantation that was here, any forced labor camp, they all pretty much operated the same way the corporate plantations operate today. They all kind of operate the same way. Why do you think you can go from one job, one call center job to another, and it's the exact same rules? Exact same rules. Different company, same rules. Different plantation, same rules. So we haven't lost anything in this fire. Our ancestors' spirits are now even more free to communicate with you and tell you what they want you to know. And then the Marie Laveau, and it wasn't even her house. It was a house that stood on the grounds where her house used to stand. I believe her house was demolished sometime either in the early 1900s or late 1800s. But the house that caught on fire was built in 1905. So it wasn't Marie Laveau's house. Now the grounds, of course, I'm sure still carried her essence and her spirit. And so I saw one person say something to the uh, that Marie Laveau wouldn't have set this fire. That she is she's grieving in the spirit. Now, if this sun dodger who now lived on the grounds and she is using the name Marie Laveau to get customers and clients, but she's not honoring Queen Marie Laveau, then I'm going to think that maybe her spirit was grieving then. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. But that's it. I just wanted to share um, some things with you that I have seen on social media. Again, it's their 15 minutes of fame is almost up. You know, we go for a few weeks and then we're on to next. We'll see what's going to happen next. And meanwhile, Schittler is in the White House taking people's rights away and embarrassing the country and taking people's medical care and social security and food away from them and showing pictures of COVID in South Africa and saying that it was 1,000 white farmers that were killed. Trust me, if 1,000 white people killed anywhere, if they were killed on Mars, the world would know. All right, so that's it. You know the drill. Love yourself, love each other, give yourself some grace, give each other some grace. Honor your ancestors, they will honor you. We are our ancestors. Pour out some libations. Tell them thank you. Tell them you love them, you miss them, you honor them. Thank you for the support. You know, they love to hear that. All right, until next time, folks, stay healthy, stay safe. Peace.